Hey guys, we're going to be continuing our notes on 3.2. This is connecting proportional relationships and slope. So our objective here, I can find the slope of a line using different strategies and interpret slope in context. So it's kind of a direct offshoot of what we were doing before. But it's like more word problem heavy, and we're going to introduce a formula that you'll use in this grade and in high school. We're not going to change. You need the rate of change. No new vocab words today. With problem one, Taylor sells crocheted ghost octopi for Halloween on Etsy. So far, she has sold it's ghost octopi because it's like, Halloween and such. Also, I heard there's a TikTok trend of crocheted octopi. So there you go. And has made $98.50 so far for 5 of them. She has 9 more orders pending, but hasn't made the ghost octopi yet. How can she determine how much she will earn making crocheted ghost octopi? And then we'll put an equation together once we kind of figure that out. So the idea here is we want to get our unit rate, or our rate of change, or our slope. It's kind of all the same thing. So we got to figure out how much one ghost octopi is sold for. If I put that in a different way, it's basically how much money she makes off of selling one. So we got to figure out, a lot of notifications here, how much that is. We know that $98.50. She makes $98.50 off of 5 of them. So we can, if we figure out the price per one, we take that price and divide by 5, right? So $98.50 divided by 5 gives us the price for one. Let's do that in the Desmos scientific calculator. I actually want to change the size of my window right here. Can I do that? Yeah, we'll do that right here. We're going to pop $98.50 in. We're going to divide by 5, and we end up with $19.70. So $19.70 for one ghost octopi. Okay. Now she's going to sell 9 more. So what we can do is we can take that $19.70. And we can multiply by 9. You know what? 1970, 19.7, we'll do the same thing, just so you know. That gets us to 177.30 for 9 of them. And then to get that total of how much she will earn, basically, I keep forgetting this is here. So that gives us 177.30 for 9 of them. We know she made $98.50 for 5. So we're going to take that 177.30 and add $98.50. Okay. So that's 0 right there. 8. 7 plus 3 is 10, so we carry that. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 7 is 17, carry that, and 270.80. Let's double check our math right there. 177.30 plus 98.50, 275.80. Oh, what did I screw up here? Oh, that's a 98. That's an 8. My bad. Yeah, 275.80. There we go. So 275.80, how much will she earn? We'll say she will earn $275.80 selling ghost octopi. What equation? So we're going to compare y and x. That is always going to be y equals mx. So our rate of change right here is that set 1970. So it's going to be just y equals 1970x. There you go. The graph represents the depth of a diving submarine over time. At what speed is the submarine descending? Well, we've got 3 points we could use right here. We've got this point at 0, 0. We've got this point at 5, negative 400. And we've got this point at, 10, negative 800. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use rise over run. So I'm going to kind of make a triangle. Since it's negative, I'm going to put the triangle on the bottom side of the line. And I'm going to go down from 400 to 800. That's a drop or a descent of negative 400. And then for minutes, it's going from 5 to 10. So we're going over by 5. This is our rise. This is our run here. And so rise over run. Actually, slope is m. Actually, gosh, can't think here today. Slope is rise over run. Same thing as m. Put our fraction together, negative 400 over 5. You got to make sure to carry that negative over, otherwise you get it wrong. And then negative 400 divided by 5 is negative 80. Let's prove that on the calculator. Clear all this out. Negative 400 divided by 5 gets us to a negative 80. So our slope is negative 80. We put it into the equation. I know I didn't ask for that, but I should have asked for that. Oh, golly. Come on, Dave. Okay, so our slope is negative 80, and so that gives our equation y equals negative 80x. So at what speed is the submarine descending? We'll say the sub is descending at a rate of 80 feet per minute. That's our unit rate, our rate of change, and our slope. You could say, Mr. Wishart, why aren't you putting a negative right there? Well, I would say that because we're saying descending, the negative is implied when we write it out. But there you go. Okay, now if we didn't do rise over run on the graph right here, right? And we only had 2 points. Like, what if I only gave you these 2 points rather than the whole graph right here, and I said figure out the slope? You would have to use something called the slope formula. Okay, so this is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You might think that these are a weird place to put these squares, but they're not squares. You're not squaring this. This is just saying that this is the second y, and this is the first y. This is the second x, this is the first x, right? So we have 2 points right here. This is the first one, this is the second one. X's are always first, Y's are always second. Okay, so what we do is we take, once we know which is the first one and which is the second one, we kind of break them apart and plug them into the equation. So this 9 is going to go right here. So it's going to become m equals 9 and then minus 7, that y1, and then x2 minus x1, so 8 minus 2. Okay, 9 minus 7 is 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. So we have a slope of 2 over 6, which we can simplify by dividing by 2 each time to get to 1/3. So we get a slope of 1/3 between those 2 points. Okay. All right. Problem 3. Justice has a go-kart. The graph shows the distance the go-kart travels over time. Find the slope of the line. What does it mean in this situation? Well, you could do rise over run right here, but we already did that technique. So let's actually use this technique on this right here. So I'm going to say x, well, this is our first point right here. So this will be x1, y1. This will be x2, y2. So when we put this together, it's going to be 800 minus 400. Just like our slope formula right here, okay? And then for our x values, it's going to be 3 minus 6. Oh, my bad. It's going to be 6 minus 3. Haha, because you got to do the second one first. So 800 minus 400 is 400. That's going to give us 3. Now it's a weird thing to talk about speed, leaving this fraction like that. So let's actually put it together as a put it as a decimal, right? Because that's more how you'll see speeds. We'll say 400 divided by 3 gets us 133.3 repeating. Okay, and then now since it is a word problem, we want to put it with units right here in our closing sentence, our summary. So find the slope of the line right here. What does it mean? It means that Justice's cart goes 133.3 repeating feet per minute. Not quite Fast and the Furious levels of speed. When I wrote this problem originally, I wrote souped up go-kart right here. Then I actually did the math and was like, wow, that's actually quite slow. So I took the souped up part and just wrote go-kart. Anyway, there you go. Okay, a company sells customized t-shirts. The company charges a base fee of $15 for each order, plus an additional $10 per shirt. Write an equation that represents the total cost of an order with X t-shirts. So, okay, we've got 5 things it's asking right here, so we want to organize this the same way. You can use a graph if this helps you kind of think this through, but you don't need to, right? So it's going to be what we've seen so far is y equals mx. However, this right here, that base fee of 15, is actually going to be in the form of y equals mx plus a b. Right? This 15 is that b right here, and then the additional $10 per shirt is the m. Okay, so this first part of it actually is a non-proportional equation. So we've got y equals an m of 10, that's our slope right there, plus 15, that's our y-intercept, that's our starting point, right? You're going to pay that regardless, okay? So we get to number 2, what is the slope of the equation? It's 10, so m equals 10, and what does it represent? It is the price per shirt. So that's what it represents in the actual story of the word problem. For number 3, if a customer had a budget of $125, how many t-shirts can they order? Assume no partial t-shirts can be ordered. Now, 125 is money, so oh, well, let's actually change this. Let's actually change that to y, because it kind of links up with what we're doing. So total cost is y, so that 125 is going to go in place of that y right there. So we're going to say 125 is equal to 10x plus 15. You just had a problem like this on your test. We're going to take this 15 and subtract it to the left side here. We end up getting 110 is equal to 10x. So we got to divide by this 10 on both sides. And we end up with x equals 11. Not $11, so 11 shirts, right? So they would be able to order 11 shirts for $125. Number 4, now suppose the company runs a special where they remove the base fee of 15. How does the new equation compare to the original? Well, when we remove the base fee, we basically take away this 15, so our equation is going to be y equals 10x, right? So we talked about this a little bit, the difference between a proportional relationship and a non-proportional relationship, right? So compare the proportionality of the two. The second equation is proportional. Is proportional. And the first is not. Because, proportionality, right? It's, goes through 0, 0. And it has because the first one, let's be real clear, or the second one actually. The second one starts at 0. 0, 0, and has a constant rate of change. Constant rate of change, that slope of $10, it doesn't change depending on how many you order. There's no bulk pricing for this right here. So there you go. Again, spiral review, you're going to see these problems. It's not necessarily exactly what we're studying right now, but they'll still be happening. It gives us 27. We add 5 to cancel it out. If you want to do that, go for it. We got multiplication, so we divide as the inverse of the opposite. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Estimate this. So it's in between 25 and 36. It's 1 away from 36, so it's real close there, and it's 10 away from 25. So 25 is 5, 36 is 6. It's 1 away here, so I don't like 5.9 probably. That's probably a really good estimate. Let's go to our Desmos scientific calculator. We'll take the square root of, what did I say, 35. Yeah, we get 5.9. Perfect. Okay, this is equal to 7. Hopefully you're getting to the pattern that it could also be a -7, because -7 times -7 gives you a positive 49. This is going to give us 11, but remember, 11 times 11 times 11 is a positive 1331, and we need a negative 1331. Oh yeah, there you go, guys.